July 2021 at Aria, these three guys at the table were such jerks. So, the hand in progress as I sit, there's a guy who you can tell plays normally, plays regularly, and a guy who doesn't. They're in a hand on the river. The guy who plays regularly bets. The other guy, the newer player, calls, very quickly shows he has a royal, he wants to take a picture of it. Okay, he doesn't play a lot. Probably the first royal he ever hit. He didn't care about maximizing his money. He just wanted to show, get a picture of it. Okay, that's cool, that's fine. Well, the guy in the hand is a jerk. So he says, how are you not raising me there? Okay, I guess he would be happier if he lost more money in the hand. So he starts talking like that for a while. Another guy at the table says, yeah, you should watch that. You might get penalized for not raising the nuts on the river. Like if you're in a tournament, they would give you a penalty. You would like have to sit out a round if you ever did that. So just watch out. I'm just helping you out, but just be aware of that. And you know, you have to raise the nuts on the river, otherwise people are going to think you're cheating. Why are they talking like this? It was a small pot at a 1-3 table in Aria in the summer. The guy just wanted to take a picture of his royal, just let him. A third guy eventually chimes in saying the same things. Okay, so these guys are absolute trash. The funnier part is that a little later, a guy who was at the table for all this apparently blacked out when it was happening. So when these three guys start talking about it again, this guy who was at the table for all of it asks them what they're talking about. So they have to replay everything. They continue to act like jerks. The funny part was the two guys not in the hand say like, yeah, this happened like 3-4 hours ago. The guy in the hand says, no, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 1-2 hours ago. Okay, it was the hand in progress as I sat. So the next hand I was dealt in, I wrote down the time of my first hand. It was 32 minutes ago. They were that far off on how much time it took between that hand happening and when we had to talk about it for the second time, and they were all acting like trash. The solace in situations like this, which happen all the time, is that usually the guy who's being treated like garbage by the people who live in misery, they're usually unaware that they're being treated like garbage. So it really doesn't affect things in the bigger view, but it was pretty annoying that all that happened. All right, second story today, June 2021 Flamingo. I sit down, I'm one in front of the button, I let it pass. So the first hand I'm dealt in, the button is on my left, on the cutoff. I play the hand. I raise my hand, the big blind calls, we get to the river. There was a flop, there was a turn, there was a river. I bet the river, the guy folded. But we played the hand out to the river. This also happened to be that dealer's final hand. So the dealers switch after this hand. The button now moves to 2 to my left. The new dealer, who should just assume the button is right unless the players tell him something, he asks, is the button right? I very quickly say, yes, it's right. Apparently that's not enough. He was asking, but he didn't want an answer from someone who was confident and correct. So he asks again, and I say, yeah, it's right. And someone else says, no, I was the big blind last hand. He's sitting in the big blind now. He says he was the big blind last hand. He wasn't. The guy who was the big blind last hand was the guy I played against, not this guy in the 7 seat. So now it's me who's very confident and has answered twice against this old guy who's very unsure of himself, and for some reason we're listening to the old guy. So the dealer calls the last dealer over from across the room and says, is the button right where it is? And again, I said, not that he was talking to me, I said, yes, it's right. And the old dealer said, yeah, as far as I know. Okay, so now it's both of us saying the button is right. The whole time this is going on, the big blind from the previous hand, the guy I played against, he's laughing because I don't know why he's unwilling to speak up, but he knows that I'm right. I was in the cutoff, I raised, he was in the big, he called my raise pre-flop out of the big, now he should be the small, and the guy on his left should be the big like I'm saying. But he's not saying anything, so it's me against everybody else. So eventually the dealer calls the floor over, not that the floor was there or could do anything about this. While the floor is walking over, I say, it's right, the button is right where it is. I don't know how many more times I need to say this. When he explains to the floor what happened, the floor calls the old dealer back, who says the same thing, as far as I know, it's right. And while he says that, I said, yeah, it's right where it is. And eventually the floor says, all right, well, there's nothing else we could do besides just play it where it is. So I don't know why me answering so quickly and so confidently was the only thing that didn't matter, and other people guessing had to mess everything up. But that's what happened. That actually happens a ton. I say what was right and like where the button was or where the straddle was or something like that, and 2 other people will be very unsure themselves and be guessing and be wrong, and for some reason the dealer feels the need to listen to those people, not to me. But this time, eventually, after many minutes, we got it straightened out. And remember, rice is a spoon food.